Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim. When I started this channel, I was looking to outfit myself to walk the Camino de Santiago in Spain, to walk across an area that was going to be alternatively very hot, muggy, rainy, and I really wanted a pack that I wasn't going to have to worry about getting wet. I eventually just decided to give up and throw a big poncho over it or something like that, because most packs were either completely waterproof, which made them into basically just big rubber tubes with shoulder straps on them, or they only had a little bit of weatherproofing that wasn't really going to do enough good to be worthwhile. But I have recently discovered the Osprey Downburst. This is a 36-liter pack that is actually set up to keep your gear and you dry in either extreme condition. What is unique about this pack is that it combines many of the features of your standard dry bag with the features of a more traditional backpack. The way Osprey has done this is they have made the outside of the backpack an IPX5 rated waterproof bag. That means it should be able to stand up to any kind of shower. Now, this is not a submersible bag, so this is not the kind of thing you're going to want to throw on a kayak trip. However, for any kind of inclement weather that you face during a normal backpacking trip, it should do just fine. The Downburst 36 is not just a winter backpack. On the back of the backpack, it is configured for more hot weather hiking, and this is because there's more than one way to get your gear wet. It can happen because of rain, humidity, or sweat, and so at either end of the weather spectrum, you really want protection for your gear. And what this side of the backpack does is it takes more of the kind of features that you would find in a lighter weight, hot weather hiking backpack. So for example, the shoulder straps are padded, not just with a bunch of insulation stuffed in, but with die-cut ventilated padding that is covered with a quick-drying mesh material. The same is true with the hip belt. So all of this padding is letting through as much air as it possibly can, which is not only going to help sweat evaporate, but any kind of moisture be taken away by airflow. Osprey also built this pack with its famous suspended trampoline mesh, so you've got a ton of airflow going on behind you. And because this presses right up against your back and hip bone, it makes for a very comfortable ride. So returning back to the pack, let's see how this works. Osprey has made this backpack in a way that I have never personally seen a backpack made, and that is with kind of two main compartments. The first one is accessed quickly by a top zip. Now this zipper is weatherproofed along with all of the other zippers, and what this does is it gives you access to the large main compartment all the way to the bottom of the bag. Inside the rear compartment of the main body, you do have a big hydration sleeve with a center pull for the hose that can wrap around through these loops to keep the hose right where you want it. The other part of the bag is a roll top. Even this one is a little different though. This is a side clip only roll top, and when you unroll it, instead of it just opening up to the rain, you actually have a zipper hidden underneath this waterproof flap. And when this is open, now you can get inside, and this limits the amount of exposure that the inside of the bag has to any rain. Now inside here, you also have a full-size access to the entire pack. And inside you also have a suspended mesh pocket of pretty decent size. It's got a zipper and a key clip on it, so you can get your small ditty bag kind of stuff easily reachable. Now the divider between these two sections is the same kind of material. So if you use the front compartment of this pack, you're looking at something that's going to be a lot more air and water tight than if you use the back compartment, which has this material on the front to keep the really wet stuff in here separate from whatever you have in the other part of the compartment. But on this end, you have more of the coated nylon, which makes it a little bit more breathable. Now, these two compartments do share space. You don't have a rigid divider between them, so if you really stuff the front compartment, you're going to lose most of your storage for the back compartment. In the front of the pack, you do have a stuff pocket. Now, this is a full material stuff pocket. There's no mesh on here. It does include a flap that goes across the back, so if you really stuff this out, it'll wrap over the top of your gear in here. Again, trying to keep as much water off as possible. One other thing that really impressed me with this pack though, is that you've actually got 4 inches of torso length adjustment built into this pack. And when I first looked at it with these rods and all these little clips and everything, it looked a little daunting. Turns out this is the easiest manual adjustment torso length adjuster I've ever seen. You see these little holes here? Well, behind it is a little clip that you can literally release with one finger, Once it pops out of the hole, you just take it out, slide the yoke up and down to whatever size you want it in, and poke it back through the hole. Now, for those that are used to Osprey type form factors, the rest of the pack is not going to be a huge surprise. You do have two very large side pockets. These will fit a full-size smart water bottle. It does have the side access so that you can point these forward or try to get them in and out through that hole. Personally, I found it pretty difficult to use those as this material is pretty tight. I think maybe with a smaller bottle it would be a lot more user-friendly, but for this I just had to put it in the side. There's one of these on both sides. The front pocket and the side pockets have a small, maybe half-inch drain hole at the bottom, and the hip belt has two fairly large size pockets. Again, the zippers are weatherproof, and so what you've got here is a pack that is really designed to keep both you and your gear dry in fairly extreme conditions. There's a nice big carry handle, you've got full load lifters, sternum strap with a whistle, a nice and wide hip belt strap with rear pull adjustment. This pack also has Osprey's fantastic trekking pole system. This allows you to very quickly just store your trekking poles away, and they stay right exactly where they need to be, so your arms aren't hitting them, but you can just pull them right out again when you need them. You can actually leave them extended if you want to, as long as no one's behind you, and it just makes for one of the best carry systems I've ever seen for trekking poles. On the other side of the pack from the trekking pole storage, you do have an ice axe loop with an elastic cordage at the top to hold it. As far as hiking goes, this pack has been very comfortable. I haven't really overloaded it with weight because this really isn't the kind of pack that you do that with, but for a 36 liter, it is perfect for kind of an advanced day pack, a winter pack, or a long walk like the Camino de Santiago. Although it would be possible to do an overnight with this bag if you had some pretty ultralight gear, it might seem a little strange to carry around a pack that is this feature-rich and heavy if that's the kind of gear that you're going to be hiking with. The backpack is definitely not light. It weighs just under 54 ounces. If you know that your pack is going to be getting wet and it's not made of a material that's going to shed that water, a lighter weight nylon pack is going to take on a lot of weight once the water starts to soak in, and especially if it gets inside pockets and other areas. Personally, I would rather have the water shed off and carry a little bit of extra weight to begin with so that it's not getting on my gear. I think for me, the perfect application of this pack would be exactly something like the Camino de Santiago or a winter hike where you're going to have more and bulkier gear, and when having something that's going to keep moisture out is going to be even more appreciated. All right, that is it for me. I hope this video has been useful to you. If it has, would you mind giving it a like and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you're into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, I'm Doug. Thank you for watching.